Hello, dear ones. I am Eleonora from the channel The Awakening Path, and I'm here with you with numbers. What is natural number, and why should we care? Today, I have two special guests to tell us all about the bot of 9, natural numbers. Martin and Susan Fisher are the co-founders and leaders of Board of 9 and the pioneers in the study and research into the 9 natural numbers. With over 30 years of combined research and experience with Board of 9, their work has led to many new discoveries and a deeper understanding of the importance, power, and impact of knowing and consciously using all your body natural abilities. I invite you to welcome Martin and Susan. They are coming in. Hi, Susan. Welcome. Are you able to hear me? I cannot hear you. I'm not able to hear you. Can you?
There we go.
Oh, now yes. Now I can hear you.
I can hear you. Beautiful. Well done, Martin. Yay.
Yay. Welcome to the Awakening Path. And today we're going to talk about numbers. You both disappear from the screen. I think you are coming back.
Yeah, you have something on you people.
I can't see you right now.
Yes. Can you hear me still, Eleonora?
I can hear you. I just can't see you.
Yeah, there we go.
Now I can see you. There's something right in the middle, but I can now.
Okay, there we go.
Perfect. Okay. Before we start, if anyone would be kind enough just to tell us if you can hear as well, that would be greatly appreciated.
We can hear you.
Yeah, so we hear you fine.
I think if you can hear me and I can hear you, I would just assume that everybody can hear me, can hear us. So let's start. First, I want to thank you for the bottom of my heart. First, for do this extensive research. I know it's a passion of you guys, and get people to really understand what is the bottom of 9, what are natural numbers, and how can we use that knowledge in our daily life to really improve. But before we go there, I would like to learn a little bit more about Susan and Martin. And I always start with one question. How always started? How has been your spiritual evolution till now? The reason why I ask is because I interview lots of people that are channeling and doing all those amazing stuff, and people in the other side may think, I can never do that because I didn't born with that gifty or something like that. And most of us, until not long ago, most of us was just like you, living our normal life, 8 to 5 job, working like crazy, watching TV, eating bad things, and trying to be happy, and not really succeeding until decided to work on ourselves and tap in the information that's available to everyone and activate our light body. But that's too much of a big subject. So how it started for you, Susan, first?
Well, When I was about 10, I had my first spiritual experience.
Wow.
I uh, I did something that made my mother send me to my room, and I ended up sitting on a ledge overlooking it. It was a beautiful night, and all the stars were out there. And I was sitting on the ledge, and I got a message that night that I needed to learn how to use the power within me. That it was very, very important that I find a way to use it for good, for positive experiences. And that was a very profound night for me. And then I started going through life as we do, went to college, went to graduate school, started a career in technology and marketing in California, and got married, had kids, did everything you talked about, Leonore. I just lived a life as it was prescribed for me by the world around me. And at my late 30s, I woke up and realized that I had lost that connection to that greater purpose along the way, and that I needed to find it again. So I began a search, and I went through everything I could find. Through Al-Anon and through therapy. I became a life coach, and as part of this life coaching leadership program, I found out what we call now our my natural number. And when that happened, it was like everyone went clunk, 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 clunk. And I knew that I had found that thing that I was going to prepare me and lead me forward in my life. And that was now 23 years ago. And I haven't varied off that path. Up to that point in my life, I was trying this and that and, just looking for something and constant seeking. When I found out who I was through this work, then it became very easy for me to understand how my particular version of body and spirituality relates into all of the nine, because there are nine physiologically different kinds of people. And this was eye-opening to me, because when we start from that place of thinking everybody's just like us, and if they could just do things a little bit better the way I do, then maybe, their behavior would make more sense or something. So for me, it was just this, oh my goodness, it explains so much, and let all of that exists be true for me. And began an exploration of how do I understand other people, be the best person I can be, and teach this to the world so we can all have this amazing experience of life. So that's, in a nutshell, my journey.
Oh, thank you so much. I would just want to highlight one thing. You did something that, like in between quotes, was not good. So your mom kind of put you in timeout, and then what did the society says? Oh, God may be angry with you. And what happened? God came to you, hug you, and just to show you the right way with love and wisdom and no judgment.
I don't dispute there being a higher power. There's no doubt about it. And I did have a spiritual awakening once on the journey where I felt the love of God come into my body, and that was utterly profound and absolutely changed me.
Yes.
Yeah, so I
Wow.
don't dispute that in any way. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. And now, Martin, how would that happen to you?
I had my first spiritual experience when I was about 11 or 12.
Wow,
And
about the same.
had a communication with God that I could communicate directly with him and he would answer me. And one of the things that we are very determined that people understand is that not to disbelieve the magic that exists in us all. And we tend to grow up and get distracted. There's no tooth fairy, there's no Father Christmas, but there is magic and there is a higher power, and both of us have been lucky enough to be connected to that. And it wasn't until I reached my mid-40s and Susan and I were starting to date that it became clear that my purpose in life was to support Susan's purpose in life and provide a connection to that higher power and to use the strength that we're given and the support that we're given from the saints and from the power that exists outside us to make the world a better place. And so we've been doing this now together since 2008, and it took a few years before I really believed it, because what we do and what we've discovered through earth-based work is this amazing reality that there are 9 different kinds of people, just 9. And the fact that there are so many coincidences and so many things that all become true if you don't disbelieve, it's guided us from the beginning that if we're on the right path, we know we're on the right path, the world gets easy. And that guidance that has been with us spiritually from the beginning has been such an important part of who we are, that without that guidance, we wouldn't be able to do what we do.
And you made a good point, Eleonora. It's like we each had to be ready for each stage along the way. And the more I do this work, the more I realize the more work I do, the more gets revealed. And
Yeah.
as I'm ready to receive the next level of responsibility in my both physical and spiritual nature, I receive more. And that's what makes it so exciting and fun. It's like we're constantly learning about humanity and ourselves. And it's very fascinating.
Yes, and thank you for sharing. That's amazing. And it's interesting, the synchronicity is about the same age. I think everybody already knows it, but you guys are twin flame, and I know you guys extensively research about the number of 9 and the impact in relationships. And I would like to put you in the spot and invite you both again to come back to my channel to talk about the impact of bottom of 9 in relationship and twin flames.
Happy to do that.
Yes.
That's it right now, but that's to come. Now I'd like to talk to you that's listening to us. I'm not psychic. Oh, I could never do anything out of the ordinary because I'm just not special. And guess what? All of us, all of you that's listening, has the God gene inside you. And many are just dormant. But it's really excited to wake up. How you know? Through your intuition that you decided to move and do something. And then you constantly, no, I can't. Just try it. Listen to your intuition. And you don't need to go like straight and have that big jump. And overnight, you start to see all visions and other dimensions and things like that. For some people, happen if they are ready, but you don't really want that because it'll be too scary. It will be baby step, but you just need to follow your first intuition thought to do something out of the ordinary. And then just walk your path. Now, let's talk about the bottom of 9, natural number. But before we talk about the bottom of 9, many people, everybody already heard about numerology. Can you just tell quick what's numerology? And then we go to the bottom of 9, and then it's not the same thing.
No, so body of 9 is very much based on numbers. And there are relationships between the numbers. And it starts from the fact that there are 9 physiologically different kinds of people. And we can tell a lot about people just by saying their number. And if you look back at the Egyptians and the older civilizations, they were aware of this. And the Egyptians communicated by number, because when I say to you a number 3, everybody knows what number 3 means. If I said to you it was greenish blue, what does that mean? Everyone's color is different. So numerology is an understanding just as astrology, whether you believe it or not, there are certain relationships that come in our lives that are guided by this bigger spiritual reality that exists.
And in some ways, it's described and designed through numbers.
Yes.
So it is related to numerology. And, you know, for whatever reason, the universe or God, whatever your words are for this, has created 9 physiologically different kinds of people. We all have 9 centers in our body. There are 3 in the head, 3 in the chest, and 3 in the core of our body. And we each use the muscles and bones and fascias of those different areas differently, depending on how our body is essentially turned on when we're at birth. So this declares somewhere in the gestation period. And this is your gift. This is your core way of experiencing life, how you take in information, what you want to do with it, what your superpowers really are. And there's lots of interesting things that are elucidated by the numbers. For example, the odd numbers generally are more out of body experiential, and the even numbers are more in the body experiential.
So the definition of faith even is determined very much by your natural number. As Susan said, the odd numbers, which is pretty much here upwards, are very much
here upwards, as it turns out,
are very much more aware out of their body and trust and believe that there are spirituality powers outside the body. The even numbers from here down are very much aware that there is spirituality connected to our inner self.
And our physical self.
And our physical self. So going back to what you were saying, trusting your intuition, it's important to understand that the universe loves us. God loves us. And trusting that love enables you to take steps. Yes, bad things happen. But if you trust that the intuition will guide you and don't disbelieve, your body, when you understand and admit and know your superpower, your natural number, enables you to take the leap and connect to that belief and trust in this bigger power that we know exists.
That's great.
Learning consciously how to use your body to be present and look at your belief systems and create conscious choice in your life is actually available to you through your body. And so how we do that is a lot of what Body of 9 is about. How do you recover? How do you be with people? How do you adjust to be with people who aren't like you?
And if you really want to take it that step further, you can activate all 9 centers in your body. The one that is yours, the one that is there before you're born, and probably the last thing to leave when you die, based on what we've seen, is your superpower. But you can add to that power. You can become so much more aware of everything that's going on around you, spiritually and physically. That I think this is a gift that once people have, okay, I've accepted my superpower, I know my connection to God, you can expand that 8 different ways.
9, because you have
9
yourself
total.
too.
I
Yes.
think a big difference that I see about numerology and the natural numbers, for example, numerology is based more on your numbers like date of birth, and is more like give you an energy, how the energy is connected, the energy of each number is connected to your life. But the natural number, it goes and integrates the body with that knowledge of the universe and how everything is sacred geometry and all of that.
Yes, completely. If you believe that there's many kinds of energy, spiritual energy,
Electrical
energy, you know, the ether that the scientists talk about hundreds of years ago that actually we believe exists, then everything, every place of every planet, of every energy affects you from the moment you're created for your entire life. And we're all created in a different place at a different time with different influences from all the planets, from all the numerology. So we don't understand. Now, there are people that don't understand how these numbers affect you from birth. But we know that your nature, your body, can be described by this number, what we call your natural number.
Right. And
And
so big systems like human design and astrology and, oh, thank you for bringing up my book here, and numerology, all are based off of the concept of how energy is affecting you in a particular way in a particular moment as a result of a particular thing. Body of 9 is like your body will tell us. I don't have to look outside of your body.
yes, and I'd like to show everyone here. This is the book that Susan Martin wrote about the body of 9. And this book was on the top 3 of the best spiritual books for the Life Conscious Expo in 2025, this year. Susan Martin, tell us a little bit about this book. What you're going to find in this book?
We've written 2 books. We've written a Body of 9. This
Other
book is
one
about
here
a
too.
description. And there's my other book.
That's the other one.
And
And
our
that book.
books, this book describes the whole system, all the 9 natural numbers, the physiology, how you support people of each natural number, how you learn to activate the natural number in your
How to
body,
raise children of that number.
how to raise children of that number, how to support them. And so it's the most comprehensive description of the system of our research. The first book we wrote is a brief description of the 9, and then some practices that you can apply in order to bring yourself more present in the moment. Because the process starts with knowing yourself. I have to know me and understand what I'm a natural number 6, and I had to figure out what it meant to be a natural number 6 and how do I make myself and become more effective. Because it's natural and easy for me to be very loud and very fast, and that could leave people in the dust. So my whole life long, I was leaving people in the dust. And so I have learned how to bring the other 8 natural numbers into my experience of life and to broaden my ability to do what I'm supposed to do as a natural number 6.
And one of the things that we didn't mention, but is very, very important for everyone to understand, is the number doesn't repeat in families. So you, your brothers and sisters, and your parents do not have the same natural number. So no matter how much your parents love you, and if we're lucky, everyone's parents love us, they don't know what you need as a child to be your best self.
And to nurture this spark of your spiritual nature. You know, we both talk about our spiritual nature coming awake at the age of 10. I believe that around 10, people have their first spiritual awakening. And if it's supported and understood and nurtured, we can become that spiritual being much sooner in our lives. But so often at that age, it's just not supported and gets squashed. And we begin to doubt the true beauty of who we are.
As you said to your the listeners, you've got to trust that spark and the inspiration within you, your intuition, and it hasn't been supported by your family. And that's one of the reasons that we should be.
Because they had no idea.
Because one of the reasons,
One
of the reasons that we should be shouting from the rooftops: trust yourself, trust yourself. Your family hasn't supported you the way that you could have been supported. Your partner is not supporting you unless you're really lucky, because they don't know about your nature, who they are. Trust yourself.
It's interesting. When I started automatic writing 3 years ago, and my guide came, he made me write pages and pages. Trust your intuition, trust your intuition, trust your intuition. That was the number 1. Trust your intuition. And in bubble letters, because I'm very rational. So it knew that if it was my regular writing, that's just myself making up things. So
is it or is it not, right?
Very, very important.
Yes.
Would you guys would like to do like a brief description of understanding what is each number? And then after that, we're going to have a physical demonstration. How can you find out your natural number? Do you want to start from the top down or from 1?
That's a good question.
Start with numbers in order.
In order, yeah. We'll just go 1 through 9. Just that way.
Is there a number 0? Sorry, is there a number 0?
There is no number 0.
Okay.
We didn't assign the numbers, but there are systems of 9 out in the world all over the place. And so we'll start with natural number one. The movement center for natural number one is right underneath the throat. There's muscles right here. You move your tongue around, you can feel those muscles. People with natural number one naturally bring their chin up and receive you with soft eyes. And they honor and respect all beings. They know we should be treated equally. And they are here to help us know that we're going to be okay, that we come from source and we're going to go back to it. And if we just open ourselves to the creativity of source, we can continually experience the beauty and majesty of being alive. And that is a huge gift that natural number ones offer the world around them.
Actually, you said only the good part of the number, but is there a challenge associated to each number?
There is. For one, because they are so connected to source, they measure themselves up against the perfection of source. The result is often they don't measure up, because it's pretty hard to measure up to the perfection of source or God, whatever your word is. And so they will suffer from not feeling worthy and being ashamed of themselves and getting into shame spirals. And that's their biggest challenge.
I think that's a good way. We talk about the qualities and what are the challenges. And if you guys can kind of exchange number by number, so you don't get tired.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's how we usually do it.
Yes, we've been working together long enough that we almost always finish each other's sentences. Natural number two is at the top of the solar plexus. And people with natural number two remind us that there's nothing that can happen without being in relationship. And natural number twos, their entire life is about being in relationship. They make decisions based on things in relationship. And it's really about how do I want to feel, and what is it the best way to achieve what it is that I want to feel. And the downside of that is that often they're going to need and want input from everyone around them. And that means that they can be disappointed because people are not always as honest and real in relationship as they'd like.
Yeah, they're really about connection and engagement, just for the sake of connection and engagement. And they know how to be with people. And that built-in sense of how can I be with you is also part of the challenge, in that they have a very high expectation of how we should be with them as well. And so they could become very disappointed when we don't meet that expectation.
Because they have built-in rules of engagement, how to be in relationship, how to engage with people. And the rest of us have no idea how to be with people. But natural number two is built into their body.
Comparison.
Relative.
Yes. Yes. And natural number three is at centered at the manubrium, which is a little flat bone at the top of the sternum. And it's connected to the top vertebrae, and it engages the collarbone and the trapezius muscles are all part of the engagement. They have the ability to lift this part of the body. And then they have this amazing ability to focus and look straight into your soul and liven your soul up. They have this focus lets them ask a lot of detailed questions so you can see what they can see. And they inspire us to move towards our greatest purpose. And to understand, how do we create by knowing everything that's available to us? Oftentimes we are not really aware of all the details of what are available. I just wrote a post about this on our website about how an amazing yarn designer broke down yarn for me so that I understood it in a different way and completely changed my perspective on the skill of knitting. And so 3 really understands how to help us understand what's available and how we move to that greater purpose. The challenge is
not getting too focused.
Not getting too focused, yes.
Because natural number 3s are really great at inspiring us. Sometimes when people don't respond to inspiration, the natural number 3 will start driving to a result, and nobody enjoys that.
Yes.
Natural number 4 is down here at the lower abdomen. And people with natural number 4 know that our best source of wisdom and our best way to make decisions is through our emotions. They move at a pace sometimes described as meandering. When they're going to work on things and when they're exploring life, They're wonderful to be with because they're going to accept us for who we are. And as long as we're authentic and moving towards authenticity, you'll feel completely accepted. If you know people and when you're with them, you think, wow, I'm with my best friend, then that could be natural number 4. The downside for natural number 4 is they often don't feel heard because emotions don't respond quickly. And people will talk and go by them. And if natural number 4 doesn't raise their hand and say, hey, what about everybody?
And what about me?
Yes,
and you?
How does this make us feel? Then natural number 4s, sometimes they'll withdraw because they know they can. The natural number 4s, being inside is actually more fun sometimes than being outside and being with people. And you'll notice that we've talked about natural numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4 as about with relationship, with eye contact. Because for 1, 2, 3, and 4, relationship comes first, and then action.
And each one of them has a way of using eye contact and a quality of the eye that creates a very particular kind of connection.
Natural number 5, which is my natural number, moves to the top of the head. I bounce up and down pretty much like a puppet. And we're very much about helping other people and providing context. I build a framework so I can understand what's coming, what's going to happen. And I am here to help people become who they can be. And the downside for natural number 5 is because everything comes to me so quickly, it can be sometimes condescending for people like natural number 4s that are working through their emotions by, let's just answer. Let's just answer. I know the answer. Why don't you know the answer? So learning the other natural numbers for me has been great because I enjoy being with other people. Whereas before I knew this, I really didn't enjoy being with other people. I enjoyed being on my own and just learning.
Yes. And natural number 6 is centered.
What do you say
Go
the
ahead.
number 6? I just want to say that what I'm observing is each number has their very special and essential quality.
Yep.
There is no one that is more important or better than the other.
That's correct.
That's correct.
And they work together to
Yes.
create a whole. And that's one of the things we're really starting to explore with our work now is how they come together. And so that's why the first step is understanding yourself, but you really cannot truly understand yourself if you don't understand the other 8 and how to offer your gift and to receive the gift of the other 8. And that is really the fundamental and essential learning that enables you to transform. When you get that piece, then you can start your own transformation and continue your transformation, whatever direction
And
it's going.
the reason why is because we live in a holographic, reflective world, and everyone around us is just showing to us, reflecting what's in our own mind. So
And-
there is no way to understand yourself if you don't understand others.
Yes. And it's a reflection on a mirror that is not perfect. Because the reflection is a mirror of somebody else's natural number. So it's reflecting back at you, but it's also adding the flavor of themselves. And that's part of this knowing. If you know that the person with you is not like you, and most people are not like you, if you think they're like you, then you can take things far too personally. Because if you
misinterpret their behavior.
Because if you said something and someone says that to you, you will take it potentially not the way they meant it. And knowing that there's 9 different kinds of people makes those reflections a gift, not a negative.
It helps you to understand where another person is coming from without putting your own perceptive ability over top of other people, but to receive cleanly what they're offering. So, for example, as me, a natural number 6, the center of the sternum is where I'm lifted and expanded. My intercostal muscles expand and my chest expands. And this lets me feel the world around me and make sense of it. And 6 is about taking in all the information that is present, making sense of it, and then setting the direction of why is this important and why are we going that direction? And so it's the energy of forward movement towards the greater good for the community that comes out of the energy of the present moment. And that's what 6 is about. The challenge for 6 is to stay in the present moment. So, and to learn to be with people. 6 is, it's like people are a little bit of a pain in the neck for me because they're slow and they don't get it and they can't feel the energy in comparison. And so, 6s will barrel over other people or they'll shut down and disappear. They kind of go one way or the other. And that's nurture based, that part of it. But so 6s are moving the world forward.
And natural number 7, which is the third eye, are the change agents. Natural number 7s help us change, help us be better, make sure that we're helping the world be a better place. And without natural number 7's input, nothing changes, nothing gets better. And the downside for natural number 7 is they will hide, they will go away because they will risk relationships to give their messages. And it can be very lonely to be a natural number 7. People don't understand how much they really care. And that's sad.
Yes, it is. And also they give a message whether somebody's ready for it or not. And their messages have hooks. So they stay around in the body or the psyche of the person that they've given the message to. 7 moves on, but the other person doesn't. And so that's always there until they actually work on it. And so it's one of the reasons, sometimes people avoid their 7 friends. And that can be very lonely. 7 can be very lonely because of that. And dealing with that loneliness by not withdrawing more is the real challenge for 7.
I think the last 2 years, many people that's really awakening to their spirituality experience the number 7.
Yeah.
The third eye.
Year,
Yes.
yeah, last year I had like childhood friends withdrawn. It's like, and it was kind of scary because suddenly it was like, why there is no reciprocity anymore? And there was 2 things. Some, I think I was kind of triggering people just by being authentic with what I'm at right now. And they were not really ready to hear and process what I was doing. And at the same time, sometimes I'll try not to tell everything, but then every time you tell less, so there is no connection.
Right.
We will get to that point when we talk about natural number 9, Eleonora.
and then luckily, in the beginning of this year, I find so much soul family like you too that I feel so comfortable talking to you guys. I said, okay, I'm not alone anymore.
No, we're not alone. We just think we are. So natural number 8 is on the spine at the sacrum, and they connect down into the earth. They are the people who really are always trying to teach us how to actually really ground by using the earth. So they draw the energy of the earth up into their body. They know how to do things in the right way, in a way that has integrity, is safe, is inclusive, is whole. And their natural ability to do things in a safe and inclusive way makes them very powerful people. They're also really great in emergencies or when something needs to get done. They know what to do and how to do it. They're extraordinarily body-based. They feel all the cells in their body if they want to. They can feel the blood running through their veins. Much, much more body aware than any of the other natural numbers. Their challenge is to, even though they know the best way to do it, their challenge is to bring people together to do it so we all do it together. And that they don't take on the burden of doing it all themselves.
Because if they do it themselves, then everybody else gets upset.
Right, because that's not inclusive, it's not safe, and it's not, it doesn't feel good, even though it might be right.
Maybe, yes.
So, and then natural number 9.
Natural number 9 is on the spine between the shoulder blades. I like to call it the angel attachment wings.
Angel wing attachment
That
spot.
too, yeah.
That's me. If
That's
I
it,
love
Yes,
that
yes.
number
you.
9.
Yes.
Yes.
And so the other thing about natural number 9 is that I like to say that they are Jedi Knights, because natural number 9 lives in the ether, lives in the force that Star Wars talks about. Feel the force, Luke, because you do. And the rest of us don't really know that that force exists. Natural number 9 lives in the ether, lives in infinity. And you are grounded in this world right now, but you're aware that that's just a short-term grounding. It's not who you really are. You live in the infinite. And you've made yourself physical for this particular part of your existence. You know that balance and inclusion and harmony are how we're supposed to live together. And you're doing your work of helping the balance and the harmony of the world come together. The challenge for natural number 9s is using the power that you have, because natural number 9s are really powerful. Sometimes it's required to use that power to make sure that everything is going in plan, in together, in harmony, and in balance. And sometimes you don't want to use your power because it's going to upset the balance and upset the harmony short term. So you'll freeze, you'll stop moving, you won't breathe as deeply as you should. And so nothing happens. You're the shepherd. Your job is to keep us moving together, to help us know and be the group of people and the group of entities that can work together to change the world.
And I want to point out Eleonora's face right now is completely neutral. She has just expanded her awareness, as Martin was talking about the 9. And that face, that neutral face, is actually extremely present and extremely aware, even though to the rest of us, it may not look that she's fully engaged. She's learned to adjust her face to look engaged, because that's what 9s do in the world. It's like, oh, right, I have to smile, I have to get my eyes to sparkle. And you can do that, right? You know how to do that. But the more neutral Eleonora's face is, the more she's aware of the world around her. So for those of you who have 9s in your family and your loved ones, just recognize that that neutral face is actually very, very aware of what's going on. And you pointed earlier, Eleonora, to having to chunk things down smaller and smaller. And that's one of the challenges for 9. It's like you're such a big thinker, and you're so aware of everything that is involved in anything that anybody asks you to do, or in what you want to accomplish. And for you to accomplish that big thing, you have to bring it down to, a starting point for the rest of us. And that feels very small to you, but that is one of the challenges for 9 is, how do I get my big understanding small enough that I can bring people along? And so what are the essential elements that I need to communicate, and what are the harmonies and balances that I have to create to keep this moving, so that people are ultimately moving to that bigger universal goal?
Which is what you do with this podcast.
Yes.
Thank you.
Honoring your beauty.
Wow, I learned a lot just in that short time. And what I get from all the numbers, is each one has a special role for the collective.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And we are really here to experience individuality, but working for the whole while we enjoy ourselves.
Yes.
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 Well put. Yes.
Very much. And the permission that comes with knowing your natural number, getting identified. And getting identified is a simple physical process. If we're with you in person, we push at your body and it will know how to do one of 9 things, and it won't know the others. If we do it over Zoom, we have you move around, we have you turn, we have you bend over and touch your toes, and we look at your face and the quality of your eyes to tell what your natural number is. So we do, that is a starting place. One of my friends recently called it a blessing. And where a blessing is an invitation, an acknowledgement of who you are, and an invitation to step into that. And I think finding out your natural number is that, and it is a blessing. I know it was for me when I found out. It was a huge blessing. And it opens up a pathway for learning that wasn't available to you before. And then if you take that further to learn the activations of all the parts of your body, right now, it's almost as if we're born blind to 8 of our other senses. And so that learning how to open and use that perceptive ability, because it shifts how your physical senses and your spiritual senses work. And so it's this beautiful continual learning process and expansion of your understanding of yourself and everyone around you, which continually improves how you have relationships and your effectiveness, your understanding of when to bring your gift and how to receive the gifts of others. It's extraordinarily impactful.
Yes, and if you guys are interested in learning more about, I really suggest that you get this amazing book. It's available at Amazon, I guess, and
Yes.
other places too, maybe. Barnes and
Yeah,
Noble.
mostly Amazon right now or local bookstores in Montana, but
And I was talking to Susan before. I'm also a translator of high vibrational books. I translate this book here to Portuguese, is in the making right now. This one is the Spanish version, and I work with MindSherpa Books. It's a publisher that publish only high vibrational books. That's our mission. Books that will impact the life of people. And it's really learn with the desire, the passion that we had to share with our loved ones that doesn't speak English. For example, I read this book. This is amazing. I can picture like at least 50 people in Brazil that only speaks Portuguese that will benefit from that.
yes,
Is there
I
anyone
have a cousin
working
in
on that?
Argentina.
Is there anyone working on translating those books? You know, the mainstream media, the mainstream is not really interested in bringing awareness.
Right now.
So
Good.
that's why MindSherpa was born, to help translate those so impactful books to our natives.
We
And
would love that, you know.
we're doing Portuguese, Spanish, and we recently created a community of 7 individuals that are covering 8 languages.
Cool.
Yeah, we're excited about that. We've had many requests for our book be in Spanish. I have a cousin that lives in Argentina, and she's like, Susan, I don't understand you. I'm like, okay, I need my book to
Can
send to
you
my
guys
cousin.
speak Spanish?
No.
Can you speak Spanish?
No, just a little bit. I speak French, and it always confuses me every time I learn Spanish. Yeah.
Well,
I wish I spoke Spanish.
I'm gonna make it available, the subtitles for this live in Spanish.
Awesome.
Cool. Be great.
So, because my website, my YouTube is trilingual, English, Portuguese, and Spanish. And I'm so close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you're listening to, you see any value what I'm doing, just hit this subscribe button. And I think I'm gonna give a gift for whoever hits the number 1,000. Because I'm also a Reiki practitioner and a channeler. So I have all my gifts that I can share with you. That's the 1,000 subscriber.
Cool.
And Susan, do you have a special discount?
Yes, for people listening to this podcast, Blessing 2025 is the discount code, a 20% discount on any of our identifications. And so that'll be good for 2 weeks. And so please get online, book an identification. You start here on my website, bodyofnine.com, and put in that code, Blessing 2025.
The information is in the description of this live. Susan and Martin, let's pretend. Martin, I will pick you, Susan, to find out Martin. Pretend that you don't know his number. And can you guys do a demonstration on how to find out the number?
Absolutely. So if I'm working with him in person, I know his head's not visible anymore, but we're gonna let's back up. Okay. I would start gently pushing on his body. And I would pay attention to where and how he uses his eyes and how he becomes strong. And I feel a floppiness in his body. It's kind of kind of loose. So that would lead me to push on his shoulders, for example. And then I would look him in the eye, and I would have him close his eyes, and I would try to be strong. Close your eyes. That's better. There we go. So he is more strong without eye contact. There's a series of different tests that I do in person. And now I would ask him to actually put his hand on his front knee and flatten his back out. And now I would push up and say, focus here on the top of your head. And I would focus on the top of my head and push up. And his body just stays there. And I can push very, very hard. And he just holds himself using his head in that place. You can come back up. And then I would work with him and help him to understand in his body. He looks happy now. Look at him. He looks really happy. If I was doing it in person or on Zoom, I can direct you to it. I will have you stand up. Can you stand up? Do you have enough room behind you, Eleonora?
I don't really have much, but I can remove my chair and then I push back when I.
Yes.
Okay.
So I would notice in your face that you have softness right here and here, that you have even tone. And as we were talking, I noticed that your face went very neutral.
Let
So I
me
might
just move a little bit more here.
Yeah,
so
that's great.
people
Yeah, that's
can-
great.
Okay.
I would have you turn sideways to the camera. And now take a nice deep breath for me. And I would notice how you breathe. So you lifted and expanded your shoulders, and your shoulder blades went back a little bit. There we go. Now I would have you turn and face the camera. And rotate your palms out with your hands up. Good. And take a nice deep breath. And just drop your shoulder blades on your back. And I might have you move like this, Eleonora. Roll through your shoulders. Nice, have a fluidity and an ability to roll through the shoulders. And then I would have you turn sideways to the camera again. And show how far back can you put your arms behind you. Palms facing up.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, but notice how far back mine go versus Eleonora's. Mine go that far, but hers go way back there. Most nines can actually put their hands in prayer position on their back. Can you do that?
No.
No, okay, that's fine. But that's beautiful. So I would, based off how you can sit down again, Eleonora, and then I would tell you about what it means to have natural number 9. And that description would resonate for you as it did when we worked with you physically and in person. And I look for that change in your body and your face. Your face is more 9-like right now. It's more neutral and relaxed. And our bodies love to do our postures. So it generally makes a person very, very happy to do their posture. And it makes them happy to be acknowledged at this very deep and very specific level. You know, Martin and I have worked with over 9,000 people around the world, 50 plus nationalities, 15 races, if there are that many, I don't know. And we have talked to all of these people and we've asked them, what's it like to live in your body? And we've distilled very specific descriptions, and we gave you those descriptions today. Those descriptions resonate very clearly with a person of each of those natural numbers. The one that describes you, you'll know in your body and in your spiritual nature. And so we're very careful in the words that we use. And when we're teaching this, we're trying to instill the importance of the specific words that we use, because if I take the words that describe 9 and I put 6 into them, they won't make as much sense to you. So if I use 6 words to describe 9, it won't land.
The other side of that is that everything you say to somebody else is going to be misinterpreted, because all the important words have 9 meanings and are interpreted 9 ways. So it's important to understand, if nothing else from this podcast, people around you are not like you. Your family is not like you. Your partner's not like you. Your children is not like you. And that's a great place to start, because they're giving you a gift all the time, even though it may feel like them.
Right. And just my favorite skill when you're first learning this work is just curiosity. Like, oh, well, that's an interesting response. What's about that? Get curious and ask questions. It's like, well, Eleanor, I noticed your face went more and more neutral. What was that about? Were you paying attention or were you not paying attention? And so you get the opportunity to, through curiosity, to understand how different we are.
And for yourself, don't disbelieve your magic.
Really.
Each of us has so much magic, so much power, superpower. And superpowers is a somewhat loaded word, but it really is something that you can do that 8 out of 9 people can.
Right. And we think other people, like, don't you see what I see? And the reality is no, they don't. Other people who do not share your natural number will not experience, see, or care about what you do. And that's what makes you so important.
Susan, Martin, it's almost 1 hour, and there is a lot of questions that I still like to cover. I think we have to continue that conversation another day.
Yeah, love to.
I see there will be a little bit more than just about the relationship next time. I was thinking about ask you to describe how each number can work on challenges with health, with finances, with relationship, because even though you are one number, you have to deal with everything.
Yes. And regarding health, many natural numbers have health issues that are specific to that natural number. And so we often find that people have issues around their natural number center. So we have some ideas why, but we can talk about that next time.
It's not very well, it's not as well researched as we'd like, but it's, and anecdotally, yes, there is some evidence.
And another thing that you'd like to cover is, do you guys teach?
Yes.
All the time.
Yes. And we're currently crafting a brand new program specifically for people who have done the kind of work that's gotten them to a place of awareness. And for people who know there's something more for us, and we're doing a brand, we're very excited about our program, and it's more than, it's moving from transition into transformation and taking our lives consciously in hand to create conscious decision making in our present through our presence. And so we are a choice in the world and not controlled by the world around us. And we're still naming it, but it's about becoming a cosmic human.
Can you also do online, or the training needs to be in person?
It will be a combination. It will be a year-long program. It'll be a combination of online training, online meetings, and then in-person events around the country. Depending on what you're able to participate in. We're still crafting the details, but if you get on our mailing list on bodyof9.com, then you'll find out about it as we announce it.
Is there anyone else in the world doing something, what you guys doing, or something similar?
There's a group in Norway, and they call themselves 9 Life Energies, because Body of 9 didn't translate well in Norwegian, and they call it life energy instead of natural number, same thing. And he teaches, there's Morten Nygaard, and he teaches a body-based transformation process that seems to be designed, it's based off the 9, and he goes through transformation in a different direction that we think is more around how do I develop as a human, and then we teach a transformation process that is more top-down, that is more about how do I become a cosmic human in the whole. And both are very important. So in Norway, they have a very excellent program, but otherwise, there's also the people who made the first observations of this work, and they are in California and in Northern California, called New Equations. And they have gone in a slightly different direction as the work develops, using music to try to create the activations in the body. We have stayed with the physical body as opposed to trying to use something from the outside in. So that's about it as far as we know. Although we are in a campaign to get more people learning and understanding this.
Well, I would just repeat one phrase. The truth will set you free. And let me try to break this down. We create with our thoughts, emotions, and vibrations. Everything that you think that you hold a thought for at least 17 seconds, you associate an emotion to it, and that emotion is associated to a vibration that's sent to the universe and join other similarities, and then comes to manifest individually to you, but it also goes to the collective and manifests in the collective.
Yep.
But the trick is what do you determine which emotion you associate to the thought? Is your perception. And your perception depends on everything that you know, that you think you know, that most of it is hidden in your subconscious that you're not even consciously aware of. That's why the truth will set you free. And that's why I created this YouTube channel, and I bring people like Susan Martin to help expand your awareness. We just have to continue this conversation because I think it will bring a lot of self-awareness to people that are listening. If they are interested in investigating more, they can get the book. They can go to your YouTube channel that is in the description of this live that has lots of information there. And also tune in to our next interview, to our next conversation that we're gonna give a more practical utilization of this knowledge. Because the idea of that is, okay, the information is great, it sounds beautiful, it's like philosophical, it's poetic and everything. Okay, but how that will help me solve this problem here? It's hurting.
Yep.
I want something that I can really use to help me solve my problems. And
I have one quick exercise that is one way. We call it collapse and lift. And it's very, very simple. Just sit on the edge of your chair, you stand up, just let your body collapse.
And I do it too.
Yeah, let your body collapse, take a little breath, and then take another deep breath. And as you lift yourself up and make yourself as tall as you can, and you will have moved from your movement center. And you will have activated your movement center in your body. So anytime you get upset, collapse and then just let yourself lift. You can do it very subtly in a meeting or with your family's dinner table. Collapse and then lift, and your body will naturally activate and it will naturally bring you back to a more present state. So there's a simple practical thing that people can take with them today, Eleonora. And there's a link in to our YouTube explanation if you want to learn a little bit more about it.
If you're stressed all the time, and talking to you that is listening right now, you're stressed all the time, try to do that once every hour. And come back to this live and write in the comments and see in 1 week if anything changes. You are stressed all the time. Remember just to do that for every hour. And then let us know what happened.
Yes,
it's simple. It takes 30 seconds to do it. Oh, I don't have time. Oh, come on, 30 seconds. 30 seconds to help you improve your life. If you cannot give you 30 seconds of your day, 24 hours, something is really wrong. Just try and let us know. I know we could keep speaking forever. Do you have a final message for us today that it won't be that final because you guys are going to return?
Don't disbelieve and trust.
Trust yourself.
And the universe.
And be curious. Be curious what's going on around you and don't make up why. be open to exploring why somebody's doing what they're doing, why they're behaving, and to receive them and the gift that they offer.
Wow, it has been a great, great pleasure. I learned so much today from both of you, and I am really excited to have you again. And
We look forward to talking about it more.
yes, let us know, what do you think about natural numbers? Are you curious about? Why should you care? Because it can help you. But you don't need to listen to me, just try to find the answer by yourself, by tuning in all this amazing work that Martin Susan is bringing to us. And wait for the next live. And subscribe to the channel so I can reach my 1,000 subscribers. Love and light to you, and see you next time. And we